Good morning and welcome to this video on a beautiful still morning in the Lake District. We're just at the end of the 5th day of Mountain Leader Assessment. And in this video I wanted to give you a quick synopsis of what the days have been like and what kind of things we've been tested on, which things I found difficult and which things were okay, and a little bit about the content of each day. And in the second part of the video, I'm going to tell you if I passed or not. And in the last part, about which equipment I used and what I found easy. So it began, as I say, 5 days ago. And day one was moving over the rough ground to the eastern aspect of Coniston Old Man. And that day we looked at or assessed on moving together as a group management, coaching on movement and steep ground, and identification of flora and fauna, because as a mountain leader you have to be able to have better than the average knowledge. And at the end of that day as well, we had to do a general knowledge paper that talked about access rights, management of the fells and mountains, that sort of thing. So that ended a good first day in wet and misty conditions. So on that first day I was happy with the group management part of things. Just my accuracy on the map could have been better. You really need to be within 20 to 50 meters of pinpointing where you are on the map. And what would happen, as has happened all week, is one person would be taken to one side and given an area on the map to go to, which is going to be typically in terrain like this, and it might be a couple of kilometers away, and it might be as little as a little contour line difference. You've got to take the group there, and the rest of the group then has to tell the assessor exactly where you are without fault. And that's been going on all week. That's quite a demanding, stressful thing, because as well as communicate to the group and manage the group and help them to help their welfare and their safety, you've got to be pinpoint managing your navigation as well. So day two was from the old Dungeon Gill in Langdale, and from there we did steep groundwork around the area of Raven Crag. It's a very steep ground, and whilst a rope is carried for emergency use only, you have to prove effective use of the rope to manage a group safely. So there we did moving over scrambling type terrain and steep little cliffs, how to get a group safely up and the group safely down and yourself safely down using a single rope. So that'll be using techniques like body belaying, stacked body belaying, and abseiling using the South African abseil, my personal favourite, and the angel wings, things like that. And you've got to do it kind of like slickly, without hesitation, and safely, of course, which includes good selection of anchors and route finding over steep consequential terrain. So on that, I found my rope work was good. I used to climb years ago, and I was kind of like pretty familiar with that, pretty slick. I think the early part of the day, my footwork on steep ground could have been better, you know, in stiff boots, kind of balancing on little pinnacles and stuff. Kind of nerves got to the better of me a little bit, really being assessed in that, but then I kind of like warmed up and got back into the swing of things, and you know, my after getting back into the groove of that, my footwork was a lot better. So day three was into the expedition phase. So that's a backpacking phase where we've had to try and hit a target wet weight of 10 kilos. That's with food for 3 days and water for the first day. there was water sources, and I was 11.5 kilos, so a little bit over. So I'm going to weigh the dry weight when I get back, and I'll put it on the screen here now. What my dry weight was post expedition. So we were in kind of like 2 small groups for that, and that was moving over this terrain, which is kind of to the west of the Rhinos Pass, over Coniston, Old Man Range, Wetherlam, Swirl, Howe, that sort of terrain. And that was about moving bigger distances and navigating. And we even did some more steep groundwork, so consequential ground. We didn't get the rope out at all, even though we had it with us. So some of it was quite nerve-wracking. Sort of, imagine moving up this type of steep, broken terrain here with heavy packs on, and how to get the group safely. And throughout this week as well, we've all had to do individual talks for about 10 minutes on a relevant subject. There were some absolutely excellent ones. Some of the guys did it about conservation or rewilding. There was a lovely talk by a girl about, how can I describe it? She did it so cleverly. It started with 2 minutes silence, and then we talked about our connection with the hills from a senses point of view, and it was super relaxing. And what that really made me mindful of is the different types of people that come into the mountain leader environment. We all bring our own skill set. Mine was kind of like a fairly technical one and historical one about Charles Hutton, Neville Maskelyne and the Skeelhellion experiment, that was about weighing the Earth, or finding the mass of the Earth, and therefore proving Newton's gravitational theory. That all took place from around 1774. So I enjoyed that part of it very much. And we also, at the end of the second day, I forgot to mention, had to do at the beginning of the third day, we had to do a weather paper as well, that was all based on forecasting using just charts, really, and some questions. So that really brings us on to the 4th and final 5th day. From camp here, we've got to walk out over the top back for a debriefing. But we've already been told what the results were, so stick around for parts 2 and 3 to find out what that was. So I would highly recommend the company I've done it with, which is Chris Ensol. You would have seen some of my other videos, and indeed the other mountain leader parts, but over a year ago now, the training parts of it. Yeah, so stick around for those next parts. Cheers.
Hi there. For those that have been following it, I just wanted to share the news that I've passed my mountain lead. It's been 5 days of assessment this week. This was the last night. It's been tough. It's been psychologically somewhat demanding, constantly being assessed, especially on the navigation, relocating, and constantly finding yourself to within pinpoint accuracy. But the thing that's been the big factor for me this week is that being in the mountains is all about growth. So I envisaged the mountain leader assessment as like a plateau to climb onto, a test, a place you had to get onto, a level. But it's not about that. It's about growing into that role and growing all the time. And I think that's what the being in the mountains does for us. We all grow as people and we develop. So if anybody wants to go on that mountain leader journey, I would strongly recommend it. You've got to work at it and be prepared, but see it as part of the journey of doing what you love. So from a beautiful evening in the Lake District, and a big sense of relief. Cheers. So what kit has worked well for me this week on the expedition and the days out for the mountain leader? Well, I've been using the Hydra Pack bottles, the ones that kind of like squeeze down and clip together, with the Salomon XPD water filter compatible. And then for my bigger water, this big 2-litre Hydra Pack, it's also compatible with the Salomon water filter at the top. Got a really good fast flow on it. Squeeze that there. Woo! So, 10 choices of the other candidates, who've all passed, by the way. Here is MSR Elixir 1, I think it is. And then a Hubber 2 in white. And a couple of the wee help kits. What they're called. These have been alright. Can't remember what they're called. Soloist, that's it. And boots for me have been the Scarpa Rebel HD, which have been absolutely brilliant, to be honest. Even in the warm weather, great for edging. We've done a lot of steep groundwork on little edges and mossy steep slopes, very good. My tent has been the Lanshan 1 XL. That's been fine, nice and light. Rucksack has been the Gregory Optic 58, which has been very comfortable. Sleep system, the Sea to Summit Ether Light XT insulated, and a couple of pillows, don't tell anybody. They're the Decathlon Quechua ones. Sleeping bag, it's been fine, is the Vango Vulcan -7. All good stuff. And a friend there, Ian, that's his Robin's tent. It's quite a nice tent. It's pretty light, but the porches either side are tiny. Couldn't really cook in them. Just like a little strip on the side. I'll ask him what it's called. So, cook kit that's been working this week has been the Soto Windmaster and the smaller pan from the Alp Kit Mighty Stacks with the lid there.